everybody. John Stewart here from my super secret location. It's New Jersey. I am here talking to Mr. Bob Garrett. He runs the Hackensack Meridian Health System, and we're honored that he's going to take a few minutes out of his incredibly busy schedule to speak with us today about what's happening in this state in the pandemic, Hackensack Meridian Health's plans for how they've dealt with it in the past, how they're dealing with it now, and especially their frontline workers, their hospital workers, the real heroes of this pandemic, and those that have stepped up in New Jersey and really all over the country and all over the world to get us through this terrible pandemic. So, Bob Garrett, thank you so much for joining me today in my very sophisticated television studio. I don't know if you know this, 4 million hospitals now in the network.
Oh,
Just in New Jersey, I think it's 4 million. How big is the Hackensack Meridian network, sir?
well, first, it's great to be with you, John. Thank you,
Thank you. My pleasure.
for being with us today. And we're not 4 million, but we have grown. We're 17 hospitals. We have 11 nursing homes, and we're in about 500 different what we call patient care locations throughout New Jersey, anywhere from physicians' offices to urgent care centers to surgery centers, the whole gamut, the whole continuum of care. So we're in 500 different locations serving pretty much the entire state of New Jersey.
Absolutely. Now, I live in New Jersey. I was raised in New Jersey. When I was a kid, we didn't have this type of health care. We were back then. They would just leave you outside if you were sick.
Oh boy, that's not good.
It wasn't good the way they did it. How are you holding up? I mean, this has been a year that none of us have ever experienced. How's the network holding up? How are you holding up? What's been the scenario?
It's been no doubt the most challenging time of our careers and of our lifetime. I mean, we know no one has seen anything like that unless you experienced, I guess, the Spanish flu right back in
1918. Sure.
Not quite that old, get close, but not quite that old. But it's been a very challenging year, as you might imagine. And for New Jersey and for Hackensack Meridian Health, because we were really the first epicenter. New York City was New York City, New Jersey. We didn't have the benefit of lessons learned from other parts of the country. Mm-hmm. We did start to prepare for the pandemic back in January and February, and we started to hear reports out of China and specifically out of Wuhan. We did speak to a couple of our colleagues in China and actually in Italy when it hit over there. But we really didn't have the time to prepare, and at that point, they were still, early on, and they were just learning how to deal with this as well. So, when it hit hard. We've seen nearly 14,000 COVID-19 patients from the beginning, and at peak, which was on April 13th, we had 3,000 patients that we were taking care of within our network. But I guess in terms of holding up, what's given me inspiration the whole way through is really how our team has handled this, from preparation to response to the amazing work that our frontline caregivers are doing and have done each and every day, and how we've been able to pivot into recovery as well, because as an industry, as a network, we've been hit hard as well. So it's really been a challenge, but there's been, there's certain aspects of it that give us all, inspiration and hope for the future. And we think, things are getting better in general.
Right. You're learning things from it. But I wanted to talk about, you mentioned how the frontline caregivers, hospital staff, administrative staff, how they responded to a crisis like this has been remarkable. And I do think generally we have a tendency to take them for granted, especially as this passes. And that's why it's so interesting to get into this circle of compassion that you guys are working on. It's basically a program that you developed to give support, to give help and care to the people who give us all this support and care. How did that come about? Did that begin with COVID, or was that something you had in place?
Well, let me just say this before we get into the Circle of Compassion, it has been a great program. And I really think it has helped so many of our caregivers. I just want to say, for our caregivers, and I've said this before during this pandemic, everybody talks about heroes, and it's hard to find true heroes these days. But when the books are written about this pandemic, there's no doubt in my mind that our frontline caregivers, not just at Hackensack Meridian, but all throughout the nation, are going to go down as true American heroes. There's no doubt about that.
No question.
But with the Circle of Compassion, there was a spirit of colleagues helping colleagues, and there's been a culture of that for many years. But when COVID hit, our culture circles, which are team members that make up different hospitals, different sites, and they got together they call them culture circle, and they got together and really came up with this concept of Circle of Compassion program. And we said, they came to me with it. I said, wow, great idea, powerful. We can really help. So I always think that you should lead by example. So I went home that night and spoke to my wife, Laura, and I said, why don't we, give the first gift for the Circle of Compassion Fund. So, and then I could put out a challenge to all of leadership throughout Hackensack Meridian to really start, because that's where it should start. It should start with leadership. So Laura and I announced a $100,000 gift for the Circle of Compassion Fund. Wow. And then I challenged, all of leadership. And this is, it's amazing. Within, I would say, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks, not a long period of time, we had 100% participation from leadership. And now we've raised about $2 million. Wow. And we've given out about $1.5 million, $1.5 million, almost 1.6 now, of what I would call help or grants to our team members. Mm-hmm. Those, it's interesting.
What would that entail? Like do they have to apply for a grant? Do you give it granted on a compassionate basis? How does it operate?
So we formed a committee that is made up of their colleagues, so a lot of frontline team members, and they developed criteria, and they developed how needy one was and how they should score the application, and that committee has decided on those grants. So to date, almost 1,900 team members have benefited from these grants. I think the average that's been given out is almost $1,300 per team member. And what's when I look at what people need most, mm-hmm. The thing that kind of blew me away was it was basic items like groceries. If you think about it, yes, they're still earning a living, working at Hackensack Meridian. We're one of the few healthcare networks around the country that haven't done any furloughs or layoffs. I mean, we've kept our workforce 100%. But unfortunately, for many of our team members, they were depending on two incomes in their household, and many of their partners or spouses were either laid off or were furloughed. So groceries, and what we did is we've been giving out grocery cards, Visa cards that would support them for groceries. Was really the number one item, the thing that people needed most. Some of them needed help on their mortgage payments. Some of them needed help to pay their utility bills. Imagine that, in the middle of COVID, that they're not going to have heat or air conditioning. Some it was as basic as they would have had to give up their cell phones, and and they needed those, vital communication. So there were a bunch of different needs out there, and I was so glad that we were able to help them. And I'm happy that we're able to once they apply for a grant, if you will, we're able to turn it around very quickly. There's a good process. It's the criteria is well established. There's integrity involved with it. As I said, their colleagues are the ones who are making the decisions. So I think it's been a really good program. I'm just so glad that we're able to put it in place quickly, and very proud of our leadership team for their 100% support as well. People did amazing things. I mean, literally. I mean, I think in the first week of this crisis, when it just proliferated. March 4th was our first COVID patient. I mean, I think people didn't sleep for days. I mean, it was just, and by the way, not just in healthcare, it was the trauma to the whole country, to the whole world was just really overwhelming. And I know you've been involved in 9/11 causes, and I kind of felt like the same way, right? After 9/11 hit, it was just so devastating. You're just wondering, when the next shoe was going to drop, and this
Right.
was really devastating.
But I have to say, the comfort in the community again is that the next sort of called to duty heroes stepped up. In 9/11, you said the EMTs were out there, but fire and police and the construction trades and all that. And this time, it's whenever the call is issued, the group that's on the front lines, man, they step up and without sort of fear of their own safety and health and concerns, and they really provide an incredible comfort and strength to the entire community. I'm never prouder. Listen, Jersey's been through quite a bit over these past, between Sandy and COVID, but never prouder of the response that Hackensack Meridian team had, the frontline workers, man, bus drivers, people, and sometimes you go in grocery stores and you see somebody stacking that fruit, and you just think to yourself, like, there's a person that just, heroically, without regard, is just making sure that everybody stays fed and keeping themselves fed. It's so I'm really pleased that you guys have this program. Now, what can people do to assist? What would be your advice from the crowd? Is it money to the program? Is it volunteering? What are the things that people can do to play a part in the recovery?
Well, we're grateful for whatever people can do, and some people have the means to contribute to this Circle of Compassion Fund, and we're certainly grateful for that. Others have donated food. We're so grateful for that. And during the height of the pandemic, in particular, there was an incredible amount of food that was delivered to our frontline team members.
Mm.
And it could be. I mean, some of the notes, the letters that I received and others received that we shared with people, it just went so far to share.
Right.
It gave people on the front lines encouragement and inspiration.
And
But
and they put themselves at great peril, and I don't think enough attention has been paid to how many of them have lost colleagues, how many of them got sick, how many of them unfortunately passed, and we haven't heard as much about that.
right,
But it's
we sadly have lost 21 of our colleagues at Hackensack Meridian Health. That
right.
includes physicians and nurses and other healthcare workers. And things were so crazy during the height of the pandemic
Mhm.
that you really didn't have a chance to reflect. So this summer, when things got a little bit more stable and calm, we had a day of remembrance, and we had ceremonies all through the network to really commemorate and celebrate the lives of those 21 blessed souls. And it was a very emotional day, a very important day that started the healing process for Hackensack Meridian. And it sounds crazy, but those lawn signs, to support our
Heroes work here,
oh
and
my God,
yep.
it has brought our team members to tears. I mean, they saw the outpouring of support. I mean, I've been
Yeah.
in communities where our hospitals are located, and parades that went right past the hospitals, and
Yeah.
thousands of people came out to support our team members. So every piece helps. Now, I recognize everybody can't or doesn't have the means to contribute. We're certainly grateful for those that can, and we hope that they will think about that. And I could not think of a better cause right now than the Circle of Compassion Fund, because it really truly is going to those frontline team members, helping them put food on the table, helping them pay their essential bills, getting them the mental health the mental health providers that they need to keep them healthy and keep them strong. So all of that is going right there. And as I said before, the neediest of our team members are being helped. We have 36,000, men and women that make up Hackensack Meridian, and just we're so grateful for all the support that our community.
Sold. I'm writing the check right now. Let me find where is it?
Yeah.
Digging through the couch cushions.
Yeah. I appreciate
Well, it's terrific. And, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank the Hackensack Meridian Health team enough. Listen, we availed ourselves of the Hackensack Meridian Network. We had some health issues in our family. We've always taken great comfort in the system that we're in that hospital. We're in your hospital system. They've always done a tremendous job for us, and through COVID stepped up even further. So we're honored to be a part of the community. We're honored to be a part of the whole New Jersey infrastructure.
Well, thank you for, number one, thank you for having the confidence in Hackensack Meridian for you and your family. But I also thank you for doing this because, this will raise awareness, John. And,
Good.
like myself, you have millions and millions of fans out there. And for you to get behind this cause means a lot to us, and especially to our frontline team members.
Happy to do it. And when this is all over, I'll come in, give everybody high fives and hugs. We'll have ourselves a nice little meal, and we'll celebrate.
Looking forward to that day. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, it's great. Well, it's certainly my pleasure. Listen, man, you guys are doing a hell of a job, and
thank you, sir.
Get some sleep, because we need you guys out there.
Absolutely. It's not overrated. I will sleep tonight for sure.
All right, good.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joyce Hendricks, Chief Development Officer of Network Philanthropy at Hackensack Meridian Health. I joined this wonderful organization in July of this year and have been so impressed with our really strong leadership and incredible team. And I'm inspired by our generous supporters who play such an important role in our ability to offer the very best possible health care for our communities. Our team is by far Hackensack Meridian Health's most valuable resource, which is why it is so imperative that we support them in every way possible, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, especially now as the battle with COVID-19 rages on. You heard John and Bob say that tonight's event directly benefits the Circle of Compassion program. So that means that every single dollar raised for this program goes directly to helping our team members, many of whom never thought they would find themselves in a position to need financial assistance. Additionally, support at certain levels will result in lasting recognition at the Hackensack Meridian Health Reflection Garden at Roosevelt Park in Edison, which is scheduled for completion in the spring of 2021. The benefit to you? Well, this year, your gift is 100% tax deductible. But even more so, you will know you are assisting your healthcare heroes right here in your communities. And I know you will feel good when you make your gift, because I felt really great when I made mine. Please visit hackensackmeridianhealth.org/MHF celebration and make your gift right now. I'd like to share just why this program is so very important. The following video features team members who have received funds from the Circle of Compassion program. Each has a unique story, and each story demonstrates just how quickly a person's situation can change. I hope you will listen with an open heart and join me in making a gift to this heart-touching program. Please watch, and thank you so very much.
Life before all of this happened was very full. We have 5 children. I'm a competition powerlifter. My husband was one of my coaches. My children are very involved in sports and clubs. It all went wrong in August of 2017. My husband had a surgery. He is no longer able to work. He's spent the majority of the past 3 years in the hospital. What I make is not comparable to what he makes, so we fell behind, extremely behind.
My family was already going through a lot where I had a child that was a premature baby, and he was a surviving twin. So he was going to PT, OT, cardiologist, and when COVID-19 actually hit, I just was overwhelmed. My rent, everything I put on the back burner, my car payment, everything I put on the back burner because that was the priority, to take care of the children first.
I was homeless many years ago, and I vowed to myself that I wouldn't be homeless, so I would definitely keep a job. Went to school for education. I went to school for medical assistant, and my husband lost his job March 23rd, and we were behind on my bills, my rent, everything.
The Circle of Compassion program is really designed to provide financial assistance and support to team members who are facing an emergent or unforeseen circumstance. We have seen everything from utilities that might be shut off to eviction notices, and those are really truly emergent situations. There have been so many different stories that have come through about a spouse losing their job. It affects a family when an entire source of income is lost.
I heard about the Circle of Compassion through a coworker. She was telling me how she was going to get help because she was having difficulties at home. And she said I should apply if I needed help.
The support I received from the Circle of Compassion benefited my family by paying utility bills that otherwise were going to be shut off.
The Circle of Compassion helped me pay my rent, 1 month's rent, car insurance, my electric, my water, and my gas. They helped me pay for that.
Our committee evaluates every application without any identifying information. So they don't know who the team member is, where they work, any demographic information about them. They're simply making the decision based upon the information provided.
In a short period of time, they responded quickly. I think it was only like 24 or 48 hours that responded back.
When I received the support from the Circle of Compassion, I cried when I got the email.
How I felt was so grateful. I just couldn't stop crying. I think I cried for a whole month because I didn't know where my monies was going to come from. My husband didn't have any. We didn't receive unemployment and still hasn't received unemployment. So I was truly grateful that they were helping me.
The Circle of Compassion program was really brought together amidst COVID-19. But this is not a program that we see going away. We believe that there are always going to be unforeseen or emergent needs that our team members face. And in our shared culture, we support each other, we take care of each other. And this is a way that we can take care of each other at those most crucial and trying and sensitive moments.
To anyone that's donated in support of this fund, I want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart because it helped my family tremendously, and I'm sure it's helping so many families in so many other ways.
I will still be struggling right now to this moment. So it actually took a burden off of me.
I became aware of the Compassionate Circle program through reading one of Bob's COVID-19 updates. And there was a story at the end about one of our workers and what a tough year they had had. They lost a baby. Her husband lost his job through COVID because of COVID-19, and she was out of work for a couple of months because of an autoimmune deficiency that she had, and they were having a tough time of it, making mortgage payments. And it made me think, like, you know, a lot of us talk about how we've been inconvenienced with COVID-19. I mean, these are people that their livelihoods have been uprooted. Some of them have put their lives at risk in working, and I felt like these are people that really have contributed so much to our organization that I just felt like we wanted to get involved and do something.
Whoever you are, the Circle of Compassion, I can just kiss and hug and love you. Thank you for helping me. I am truly grateful for the Circle of Compassion.
This program gives our community members a great opportunity to support those superheroes.
I made the gift because, as I said, when I saw the story of that woman who was one of our workers, one of our people, and my wife and I have been contributing to the foundation and supporting a lot of the functions. I said, this is something that's really touching when you look at it, and could make a real difference in somebody's life, this program. And I was also impressed by the amount of participation by the executive team. And my wife and I spoke about it, and I said, this is something we really want to get involved in, so we made a contribution. And I really hope that other board members, and as well as other people within the organization, would really think about it, because this is a way these people that are suffering have put out so much for us. And that is why, those are the true heroes, and that is why Hackensack Meridian Health is the system that it is.
I would say that it's important to donate because you just don't know what the person next to you is struggling and battling with, and if you have the means and ability to donate, that you certainly should, because it's made all the difference in our world.
I think it's important because anything can happen at any time, just like the pandemic. It just came out of nowhere.
It's important for myself and all my team members to contribute to the Circle of Compassion, because you never know if you're going to be the person that needs it.
When we started this program, we had a significant fund in place, but funds are not limitless.
I've been a leader for a long time, and I realized early on that team members only showed you what they wanted you to know. And they might come to work every day with a big smile on their face, but there was a whole lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you didn't know about. And over time, my team members came to trust me, and I learned that there were a lot of difficulties that they were facing. Some would say, I don't know whether to pay my rent or buy food. Some would be, someone would be late because their car was repossessed. And I knew that there was a need. I knew this need. I just didn't know the enormity of it.
So I've been with Hackensack Meridian Health for just almost 11 years now. I've been involved with a lot of things, but this really, really pulls on the heartstrings with, reading stories about team members and the struggles that they have, and, knowing that we're all real people and we're all a team and we need to help each other. And, so when I was asked to be part of this, I couldn't pass up the offer to do so.
The hardest part of being in the Circle of Compassion and reviewing the different scenarios that we come across is not being able to say yes to each and every one. Everybody has a story. Everybody, has a need in some form or another. And the tough part is just making that decision of saying, this. We can't help this team member, or we can only help this much, and not being able to give them everything that they're asking for.
It's hard to not want to help everybody. We want to help everybody. That's how the group is. And for me, I was recently widowed, so when I hear a story of somebody who's widowed, I want to buy them a car and a house and send their kid to college. And we know that that's not realistic. We can't do that. Everybody in the group has a situation that's theirs. It's something that makes them who they are. So we all have to temper the decisions that we make. But usually, every meeting that we have, we walk away feeling we've done our job. We've done the thing that we've been asked to do.
We didn't think that there would be this many team members in need. When we're not necessarily able to support a team member based on our guidelines, I do think that we're connecting them to resources that will be able to help them in other areas of their life.
We often get people who say, I've donated for years to this fund, never thinking it would happen to me. And it's a very humbling thing to have to ask for help. We always want to be the helpers, especially in healthcare. That's what we do, we help. But to have to ask for help is very difficult. And I think the fund being anonymous helps. We don't know anything about anybody other than their story. And that really makes a difference in people feeling that they can ask for help. But that doesn't make it any easier for them.
None of us knows when our time of, a crisis may come. And that's the part of compassion when we're looking at different scenarios. It could be, a team member tomorrow. It could be myself, in 2 months. We just don't know.
So I think the best part would have to be just hearing the thank yous, how it made a difference, and to know that I had a small part of doing that is just, so rewarding, and so, it helps me continue on and, help others.
It will do your heart good. You could never know how grateful people are I don't think that we all understand how hard this impact has been. Even pre-COVID, there were people who were struggling, and then COVID just really knocked the pins out from underneath them. There are people who are going through some unimaginable things. They've suffered such great losses. And although this is a financial thing, although this is a lot of times helping financially, there are other resources that we're able to give people. But the main thing really comes down to the finances. If you are able to help in any way, please, please, please do it. The team members, we need each other.
I would say to family, friends, and anyone that's considering giving a gift, it is a worthy cause. People need our help. They need our financial help, and as part of this committee, we see it, every day. We're hearing about it. We're so in touch with it. We're connected with these team members. Even though we don't see them, we feel like we know them. We understand, their hardships, and we want to be able to help as many team members as we can. When the program first started, we thought that it was going to be just a surge in the beginning and then it would die down. And we are finding out that it's not dying down. People are still in need. Our team members are still in need. And so we would ask that, whatever you have to give, please give, because it is not going unnoticed. Our team members are so full of gratitude, and us as committee members, I know myself, I am just so full of joy, and to be able to help these team members, it just makes my heart full.
Know that the funding that you're giving is truly helping our team members. I mean, the best part about overseeing the Circle of Compassion is the thank you notes that we receive when we help people.
So I think that, continuing to contribute even when times are normal, is going to be so great to those team members that still are having those struggles outside of work.
Over the years, we have supported many different causes. My professional background is as a registered nurse, and I started at Riverview Medical Center. So I know what it's like to be a nurse. I started back in the 80s when the AIDS epidemic was just starting. It was a very scary time. We didn't see the numbers that the healthcare workers saw, the hospitals saw this time around with this pandemic. So I can't even imagine what it is like. Being a nurse is physically, mentally, emotionally draining, exhausting. And for those people working on the front lines, my heart goes out to them. They must be absolutely exhausted. When the pandemic started, we decided to purchase restaurant gift cards to be given out to team members. After an exhausting, grueling day in the hospital, it would be nice to be able to take a break with your family or a loved one where you didn't have to cook, didn't have to worry about the dishes, and just relax a little bit. And at the same time, we were able to help the restaurants, which were really in trouble at the time as well. Be it a small amount, a large amount, every little bit helps. And you can make a difference. A lot of people, giving a small amount turns into a big amount.
No gift is too small. And I'll tell you, depending upon your circumstances, the resources that you have, just getting involved is what gives you the feeling. It's not the amount of the gift, it's not your involvement, it's just the fact that you are being part of something that's really helping others that are going, or you may need to help you at some point in time. This hospital, this health system is here to help people, and so therefore we should not forget those that are helping us. I want the workers to know that the Board of Trustees, that we sit there and we recognize their accomplishments. We are so appreciative of their accomplishments. They are the true heroes. We're making decisions, and those decisions are only hopefully going to help them be even better and support them in the position and the work that they're doing. But they are the true heroes, and they should know how appreciative and honored we are to be part of an organization that has people like them. I think the community has to recognize that these are the folks that are taking care of them. These are the people that are going to cure them, make their life simple, help their relatives, their family members through this terrible disease. And so when these people need some help, it's incumbent upon us to really step to the plate. This is how we can help them. This is how we can show our appreciation for the risks that they take. Because it's not only the financial impact, these people are putting their lives on the line to treat us and to take care of our family members. It's the least we can do to show our appreciation, to say we are here for you in your time of need. I recently came across something that was written on the effects of the pandemic, and I really thought it was on point, and I'd like to share it with you. May we who are merely inconvenienced remember those whose lives are at stake. May we who have no risk factors remember those most vulnerable. May we who have the luxury of working from home remember those who must choose between preserving their health or making their rent. May we who have the flexibility to care for our children when their schools close remember those who have no options. May we who have to cancel our trips remember those that have no place to go. May we who are losing our margin money in the tumult of the economic market remember those who have no margin at all. May we who settle in for a quarantine at home remember those who have no home. During this time, when we cannot physically wrap our arms around each other, let us find ways to be a loving embrace to our neighbors. And in my opinion, the Compassionate Program is one way that we can all be part of it.
We are so happy to join in the celebration for the Circle of Compassion for Hackensack Meridian. The work they do to support their team members is inspiring. We can't thank the staff enough for all you do day in and day out to keep our community healthy. Riverview Hospital is where all our children were born. It's where we took them for stitches and stomach aches.
These are extraordinary times, and it takes all of us working together, supporting each other, remembering those who are on the front lines of this pandemic. All of us can do even more to support those hospital workers, nurses, doctors, aides,
Maintenance workers, housekeeping staff, food servers, all the people working hard to take care of our loved ones. And I'm sure you are sick of hearing about it, but how do we support and thank them?
by wearing a mask. So please, enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you.
Thank you to all the frontline health workers and team members at Hackensack Meridian Health. Thank you for your bravery and all that you've sacrificed to keep us safe during this unprecedented time. We can't thank you enough and wish you all the best.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm former New York Giant and Pro Football Hall of Famer Harry Carson. One of the very best life lessons I've learned as a professional athlete, a New York Giants teammate, or just as a man, is how to come together and work as a team during periods of adversity. Each person has to understand the importance of giving their very best, regardless of their role, position, or who gets the credit. I would like to personally commend and thank Hackensack Meridian Health for their sense of compassion in saluting and honoring all of you, the frontline caregivers, at this evening's Circle of Compassion virtual celebration. As a player, when I stood in the middle of my team's huddle, addressing my teammates, I could see in their eyes that they were all in. They were committed to the mission, and they were committed to one another. I see the same with all of you. In one way or another, we all have been affected by this pandemic. From one captain to all of you, thank you for all that you do, and thank you for facing adversity head on to help us all endure during these uncertain times.
What's up, everyone? My name is Nicole Baxter, and I play for Sky Blue FC. I heard that Hackensack Meridian Health was having a virtual celebration for some pretty amazing healthcare workers. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to say, on behalf of everyone at Sky Blue, thank you so much for the way that you have helped our community throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. I know that so many of you probably made so many personal sacrifices to help people throughout our community, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am and the rest of the girls are for everything that you've done. And I know that a lot of us still have loved ones here with us today because of the tireless work of a lot of frontline workers, and myself included. My 98-year-old grandfather got through this virus because of people like you. So again, just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you're doing. Everyone here at Sky Blue is sending you love and good vibes.
Hey guys, this is Jared Stroud from the New York Red Bulls, midfielder from Chester, New Jersey, a local guy. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you to all the frontline workers, and specifically Hackensack Meridian Health. Thank you so much for everything you guys have been doing. I know it's been difficult for you guys recently. I know you guys have been putting up a lot of hours, a lot of late nights. My mom was a nurse, so I can sympathize with some of the difficulties you guys are going through. And as a team, we're just really inspired by everything you guys are doing. And we wish that all the positivity and all the safety in the future for you guys and everyone. And I just want to reach out and say thank you so much. And we're going to keep playing for you going into the playoffs and whatnot. So thank you very much.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Brian White, forward for the New York Red Bulls. Flemington, New Jersey, I'm a local guy, so I just want to say thank you to everyone at Hackensack Meridian Health for everything that you've done through this pandemic. It's been a very trying time, and you guys are an inspiration to all of us. Me, my teammates, everyone in not only New Jersey but around the country for leading the front lines and being there for everyone getting sick and helping us recover. And hopefully we'll get through this, and it's not without you guys. So I just want to say thank you for everything you guys have done.
Hey guys, it's Danielle Monaro from Elvis Duran and the Z100 Morning Show, and I just wanted to tell you how important Hackensack Meridian Health is to me and, of course, to my entire family. You guys have been here for me for a very long time. I had both of my kids at Hackensack University Medical Center, and it was an incredible experience. My mammograms are done at Hackensack University Medical Center. Stella, shout out to Stella because she is amazing and she takes care of me every single time. I have so many great doctors there. I had thyroid cancer a couple of years back, and Dr. Inouye, who is at Hackensack, he took great care of me. He did my surgery, and he's just amazing. So you're such a big part of my life. You hold a very special place in my heart, and I know you're always there to take care of me. So I just want to say thank you. And to all the healthcare heroes out there, you guys are the superheroes that make it happen. You're out there on the front lines. You're putting yourself before everyone else to make sure everybody's taken care of. And for that, we love you, we appreciate you, and we thank you. So Hackensack, thank you for everything you do.
Yes.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Put a mask on.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Joe Stampy, President and Chief Development Officer for the Meridian Health Foundation. I want to thank you for being here tonight and joining us. We are so grateful to our board members and donors, and to our healthcare heroes, our doctors, nurses, technicians, environmental service team members, and everyone else who is helping care for our community right now. During these unprecedented times, we have all been challenged like never before. And as a result, we have seen countless impressive displays of strength, fortitude, creativity, compassion, and generosity. Generosity. That is a word that is at the heart of what we do at the Meridian Health Foundation, and why we are gathered for this virtual event tonight. It is through the generosity and giving that we can have a profound impact, not just on the health of our communities, but also on our own well-being. Because science actually proves that generosity, or giving back, can boost a person's happiness and help and aid in the healing process. And that's the true meaning behind our campaign theme, Giving Heals. Giving Heals is Meridian Health Foundation's comprehensive fundraising campaign with a goal to raise $150 million for 8 Hackensack Meridian Health medical centers. And today, in addition to celebrating our healthcare heroes by raising funds for the Circle of Compassion program, we are also commemorating the campaign's 6-year conclusion. At the time I'm reading this message, the Giving Heals campaign has raised more than $195 million, and we're not done yet. I would like to share a brief video with you, sharing just a few of the moving donor stories that we have heard throughout the campaign that truly demonstrate how giving heals.
My name is Joe Rulli. I am a Board of Trustee member on the foundation. I've also been a donor for the past probably 20 years. I live probably 3 blocks that way, and I probably work 3 blocks that way from the hospital. About 6 or 7 years ago, my mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And after visiting all the major cancer centers, or at least most of the major cancer centers in the tri-state area, I was actually referred back to Southern Ocean Medical Center. The care she got under Dr. Naylor extended her life almost 2 years with pancreatic cancer. My mom passed away in the hospital, under hospice care, in 2015. Even though they knew in a few days she was no longer going to be with us, they treated her little symptoms. She had a headache. They would do something for that. They treated her symptoms as if she was going to be going home at some point. And the nurses were wonderful. My mom was a very nurturing person, a very positive person. The hospital, at some point or another, is bound to touch everyone's life who lives in the community. People are quick to support the fire department, the Little League, the football program in town. The hospital should be just as important as those other organizations. I love being a part of the Board of Trustees here at the foundation. I love giving that time, and I do it almost in a way that I think it honors my mother.
I guess we have a long-standing relationship with the medical center. I mean, her parents both were here when they became ill. Her brother was here when he became ill. He had HIV, and there were various points in time where he became ill with the HIV, and he was hospitalized here. The Learning Garden, I guess, has been here for several years. When Dr. Reykjavik suggested that this might be a way to honor him, we thought it was a good opportunity not only to honor him, but to honor her and her staff, because she kept him alive for the better part of 30 years. We bought, I think, 15 tap whiskey barrels and 5 elevated planters and 3 trellises, and together with the kids from the Votech school, and filled the barrels and filled the planters with 100 bags of topsoil, or mushroom mix, I guess it was, and it looks like a nice garden now. And I think in the fall what the intention is that they're going to harvest some of the food and cook us all a meal. So.
It's a comforting feeling. I don't know really how to explain that to someone unless they experience it for themselves, but it's been really great. Very honored to be doing this for him.
In a way, it's the thought that counts, but more than the thought, it's actually doing something, even if it's something minimal. If you can manage to do that, you get something in return as well.
I know in my heart that every time I visit the garden, and every time we plant something, and every time we're there weeding, I know that Frankie is smiling down from heaven.
My mom was just feeling sick a lot, and we kind of took her to the walk-in like normal, and they would put her on an antibiotic and she wouldn't get better, and we noticed that she was losing weight fast and just wasn't herself. And it wasn't actually until we saw a kidney specialist, just I guess at a whim of just seeing Dr. Elimination, and he was the one to actually find the tumor in her lung. So from that point on, it was kind of a scary road, because she was very fragile and frail at that point, and the cancer was super strong, and we didn't know what was even happening to know that it was cancer that was kind of eating her alive. Her cancer not only spread to her bones and everywhere else in her body, but it spread to a muscle. She wound up living on hospice for 3 days, and it was just a slow decline. But in those 3 days, the amount of love for not just our family being here, but the staff was unreal. They came and they brought us food and blankets, and they knew that we were sleeping here, and it was just a crazy, crazy time, but I couldn't imagine not having the staff that we had here. When it came to planning my wedding, it was, a hard thing to do without her, but I wanted to figure out a way to, make her shine through still. We decided that in lieu of favors, we would do the donation.
Your donation is a really beautiful way to honor her, and we would like to thank you for the opportunity for her to be part of our memory here at Ocean Medical Center.
Any little bit can help, whether it's a penny, $1, $5, anything will help these other families. I think if everyone kind of just took the time to realize that anyone can help anyone, the love can just go around. I want to be able to help other people who feel the way that I feel, and I know that she would be proud if I helped others.
This Giving Heals campaign, and all of you who have supported it, whether it's by being here tonight, making a major or leadership gift, remembering us in your will, or simply by giving what you can when you can, have had a tangible impact on helping us to fund oncology initiatives, enhancing the patient experience, broadening our access to research and academic programs, and improving clinical outcomes for all of our patients. For that, for your generosity and support, for your friendship over the years, I am truly grateful. We hope that this event tonight provided you an opportunity to be entertained, educated, and uplifted. And if you were moved by the Circle of Compassion program stories from our team members, you can still contribute by visiting our website. On behalf of everyone at Hackensack Meridian Health and the team at the Meridian Health Foundation, I want to thank you so much for supporting us and for joining us here this evening. It has been an honor for me to walk through this year hand in hand with you, albeit socially distanced, and meet the challenges head on. Please stay safe and remember that our hospitals are here for you with your safety top of mind. We hope to see you all in person soon. Be well and take care.